1,000 years ago, the Chinese were ahead in technology by a landslide. They accomplished so much in the last few centuries. You should thank them for your modern inventions like toothpaste, wheelbarrows, kites, gunpowder, fireworks, and toilet paper. Guess what? The Chinese invented paper. Yes, the paper you use today for work and test. Thanks, Chinese. Paper was made by grinding mulberry bark into pulp. Then they would spread it on the sheet to dry. Paper wasn't only for work though. They also used it to make paper kites, paper lamps, and even clothing.
The Chinese invented some cool ways of healing people. One of them was acupuncture. Acupuncture was performed by a professional. I repeat, professional. The Chinese believed in a force called qi that ran throughout the whole body. They would place needles in precise places of the body where qi flowed to relieve pain and tension in the muscles. The Chinese also invented Kung Fu. Kung Fu is Chinese for skill produced by training. Kung Fu is based on the idea that physical health can be achieved with inner and outer strength. They exercised so they would have strong muscles, and they did breathing exercises to feel their organs. This spread around so quickly, soon everybody was Kung Fu fighting.
Everybody was Kung Fu fighting.
I'm sorry, we just had to do that. Who likes science? Fireworks are cool, right?
Yeah.
Well, believe it or not, fireworks are science. Legend tells that thousands of years ago, a clumsy Chinese cook accidentally spilled salt, sulfur, and charcoal into the fire, and the fire made a beautiful, colorful flame. He got excited and wanted to try to make the fire burn inside a closed piece of bamboo, which resulted in a big explosion. People used fireworks for fun at first, but later they used gunpowder, the mixture of sulfur, charcoal, and salt, to make rockets to shoot at their enemies. This is a seismograph. The seismograph is made up of 8 dragons, each with a marble in their mouth, and a frog underneath. The point of a seismograph was to detect when an earthquake happened. When an earthquake did occur, the dragon that was pointing in the direction of the earthquake would drop its marble into the frog's mouth. The sound of the marble falling into the frog's mouth would announce to the palace officials that an earthquake happened. An emperor needed to know if an earthquake happened because they believed it was a sign he was ruling badly. This is a compass. The Chinese invented a compass to help them make their way around better. They made it when they discovered that Earth has a magnetic field that makes a magnet always point north. It was the ancient GPS.
How many of you are math whizzes? Well, most of you probably think that math is all boring. Am I right?
No.
Oh, you're wrong. Have any of you ever used a calculator?
Yes.
Well, the Chinese had one too. It was called an abacus. An experienced person could solve a tricky math problem in just a few seconds. No batteries included or needed. The Chinese also came up with these puzzles called magic squares. It was the numbers 1 through 9 put in 9 squares. If you were to add 3 numbers, horizontal, vertical, or diagonal, it would always equal 15. According to Chinese lore, it was a gift from a turtle in the Low River to Emperor Yu. I guess the turtle liked math. Before the abacus, Chinese math was calculated using counting rods. The numbers 1 through 5 were were horizontal bars. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The numbers 6 through 9 were the same as the numbers 1 through 5, except that they had a vertical bar on top of them. 6, 7, 8, 9. The ancient Chinese saw that the North Star did not move in the sky, so they used it to find the different locations of other stars and constellations. The North Star is a supergiant star that has been used as a navigational tool. It is always there, in the same place, every night. It is located right above the North Pole. But the North Star was not the only thing flying high in the sky of ancient China. Kites were also high in the sky. But these kites were not for playing in the beginning. At first, they were for scaring enemies. They flew the kites with bombs over enemies. They made the skeleton out of bamboo and the skin out of silk. Chinese emperors also used kites in wartime to send signals to the troops. The Chinese kite developed into elaborate 3D shapes, which were decorated and flown over religious ceremonies to offer happiness, fertility, and victory. The Chinese people believed that different kites symbolize different meanings in Chinese history. Dragon kites represent power and prosperity. Butterfly and flower kites represent harmony. The Chinese people of all ages would fly kites to avoid bad luck, with hopes of becoming richer by flying the kite really high up in the sky. The Chinese people believed that the higher they flew a kite, the better they were able to see. This tradition of flying kites carried on through the years, and people still today fly kites for amusement and entertainment. Now on to learn about festivals and celebrations.